it was an absolute clinic of counterattacking football.
Yes, they're so good.
Casper Schmeichel, the keeper for Leicester, son of Manchester United legend Peter Schmeichel. So had to be a little sweet for him to get that on his old man's team. Comes up, gets a throw out to a midfielder, takes a few touches, hits Vardy on a perfectly put through ball. I mean, Ed, you could not have put that any better playing FIFA.
No.
Than that ball, than Vardy being put through. Vardy calmly slots home past De Gea, who was, I hate to say, best keeper in the Premier League.
Probably, yeah.
Beats him. Probably should have beat him late on to take the 3 points, but instead decides to pass. But, I mean, Vardy, that's the thing, folks. Where did he come from? Nobody can really tell you where this came from. All they can tell you is he's really freaking good, and I don't think it's a flash in the pan.
No, and I think he's somebody that, obviously this streak can't continue forever, but I think he's someone who's just going to have a nose for goal and just really keep grinding out results like that. What I do also want to talk about, though, is Manchester United. I keep looking at them, and I keep wavering between... They're a very gritty, resilient team who is finding ways to continue to get results and wins while not looking very impressive. And on the other side being, how is this team like a point from leading the Premier League? Like, it boggles my mind how bad they can look, and yet they still get results.
Smalling and De Gea.
Yeah.
Basically, Chris Smalling, who... I believe last year at this time I was openly mocking every time he played and looked like a giant deer in headlights, has suddenly flipped the switch and is very close to playing at a world-class defender level.
Yeah.
De Gea is a world-class keeper. And those two, basically De Gea at the back and Smalling bossing the rest of the defense. That defense has been the best in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally how they're doing it. They are winning, to put it in a football way, you remember the old Baltimore Ravens teams who every year led the NFL in defense, and the offense would be ranked like 28th out of 30.
Yes.
and they would always get close but couldn't ever score at the end to get anything. That's kind of what it is. The defense has been so good for United that it has masked the fact that they have such an unbalanced up and down offensive attack that it's not funny.
No, I think Memphis Depay hasn't been very good. Wayne Rooney has looked terrible.
He's stunk. He's really stunk.
I don't see where the offense is going to come. I have to imagine, United's going to probably try to break the bank in the January transfer market and get someone. I don't know exactly who they're going to get because I don't believe that.
Early rumors has been Cavani from PSG, but just on that real fast, if I'm a team that's competing, if I'm a major team that's competing on multiple fronts. I mean, I can understand, I'm United, I want to go buy this guy. Why would PSG sell him in January?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, sell him in July, but not January.
Yeah, plus for United, Cavani would be tied to PSG for Champions League matches, so he wouldn't be able to help them there anyway.
It would help them in the league, but yeah, I mean, United needs. God, they're just so bad up front, and part of it, Rooney's completely fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
As far as being a striker is, Rooney he's gotten terrible. And then the system that they play under Van Gaal is just it's stale. It's not a park the bus mentality like Josie has at times.
No, it's just unimaginative.
It's very unimaginative. They play a possession-based style But, it's not like the Barcelona possession-based style or even, God forbid, the Brendan Rodgers possession-based style where that was based on passing and movement. Theirs is just, we're just going to try to hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. Just, we're going to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, it's tough times there. Yep.
United fans, I've never seen a group of fans who are 1 point off the lead be so pissed off with their coach.
But they should be, because they really could be so much better, and that's terrifying.
Well, I think they understand, too, that this league is wide open for the taking.
Oh, yeah.
And if they would just get out and go, that they could probably really do some things, really do some damage.
Yeah.
November has come to an end. United scored 5 goals in November.
Jeez, that's...
Liverpool scored 6 today, by the way. United scored 5 for the month of November. So,
well, speaking of 5, it was 5 for fighting for the Crystal Palace Eagles as they struck back against hapless Newcastle's opening salvo. Steve McLaren may be seeing the end of his run as a Geordie as Palace goes MacArthur, Balazi, Zaha, Balazi, MacArthur. Pardew points his former team ahead. Crystal Palace 5, Newcastle 1. Wes, this is one I'm sure Alan Pardew took absolutely no pleasure in. And back on that Men in Blazers pod, as mentioned there, I find this terribly fascinating. Newcastle at this time last year, with Alan Pardew, were in 9th place. And I believe this time last year, were just either coming off or about to give Chelsea their first loss of their title campaign.
Going back to that, Mike Ashley, I really can't remember what his entire issue with Pardew was. It was completely bizarre because, Pardew's maybe the best English manager in the Premier League.
Yeah, probably.
I don't always say a lot, but, still. The guy's done nothing but keep you in good positions. But they wanted him gone. He found an out and went back to Crystal Palace, a place where he had starred as a player himself. Mm-hmm. So it was sort of a homecoming. And Palace have found a really good spot this year in the Premier League. I think we see now as it continues, this isn't going to be a team that's going to compete really for the top 4.
No.
But this is a team that's going to definitely compete to be top half of the league. And if they can get some things to fall right, maybe push for a spot in Europa.
Absolutely.
So, Pardew's doing nothing but just improving his resume every single time Palace go out there.
Yeah, and Steve McLaren may be on his way out. Maybe just reports, as I texted you, reports coming out that he has 3 matches to save his job. I believe at least 2 of those are against City and Spurs. So, good luck, Steve.
Oh, McLaren. God, I hate Steve McLaren for what he did to England.
You hate him? This is so much fun for you.
Yeah, this doesn't really hurt me at all.
Speaking of teams in a dumpster fire right now, Aston Villa struggle as Watford soar. Ingolo opened the scoring for the Hornets. Hornets. Beating Brad Guzan, but Villa found a little bit of life from a header from Micah Richards on a set piece at the end of the first half. Watford took back the lead on an own goal from poor Alan Hutton, trying to get out of reach of Ingolo before the great Troy Deeney, I'm going to push this nickname till it sticks, put in a rebound off his head to save the win for Watford. Jordan Ayew got 1 back for the Villains, but it wasn't enough as the final score was Aston Villa 2, Watford 3. We've been over Aston Villa's struggles so much, Wes. Watford, though, have a real good feeling about them right now. I think this is a team that not only can they survive their first year in the Premier League, I think this is a team that could easily finish in that 12-10 range.
Well, and we have seen, and we've already said, it's a wide open premiership this year. Nothing is going according to script.
Nope.
Well, at least the scripts that we were given in the preseason.
Damn you, script writers.
Damn you scriptwriters. You forgot about Klomp. So there's always the chance if they can keep themselves in a good run of form. I mean, Watford have shown that on any given Sunday or Saturday for that fact, they can definitely they can scare anyone and they can actually beat quite a few people.
Yeah, that is.
And also for Troy Deeney, he had to love getting that winning goal. Troy Deeney,
a Birmingham City fan.
Birmingham City fan, was rejected from Aston Villa's youth setup as a youngster. Of course, Birmingham being the big-time rival of Aston Villa, so he had to enjoy that at the end. It's like a kid who grew up, dreaming of playing for North Carolina, ending up at Wake Forest and knocking Duke out of the ACC tournament. So.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. Oh, he still has the Carolina tattoo on his calf.
And he's got the Carolina on his calf.
City reassert themselves as, Wes, Raheem Sterling turned defense into offense by finding
England's Raheem Sterling. It's okay.
There you go. By finding Kevin De Bruyne on the break for the opener in the 9th minute. Against Southampton. Oh, poor Saints. City added a second as Fabian Delph pushed a deflection in off Virgil van Dijk. Bit of nerves for the citizens, though, as the Saints pulled one back when Sadio Mane found Shane Long on a cross. Southampton continued to press, but Crazy Willie Caballero, somehow kept the Blues in it with a couple of point-blank saves. City won it, though, on the foot of Alexander Kolarov on a tight angle inside the 18, as it finishes Manchester City 3, Southampton 1, proving very once and for all, West, the only time you can catch City is right after the international break.
Absolutely right. City coming off let's just put it this way, for City, that was a humiliating loss to Liverpool.
Yes.
Especially a guy like Raheem Sterling, who that match had gotten so built up for him. And then to fall flat like they did, they did have a lot of motivation to come back from that loss, trying to reassert themselves at the top of the table. And they came out and just absolutely did their jobs, did what they should have done in that match, and got the victory. So, here's the thing. City are going to take some bad losses this year, just at different times, just because they're that kind of a team.
Yes.
But you cannot count City out at all, because just when it comes down to it, they've just got more better players than everybody else.
They really do. Sunderland are rolling. Yes, Sunderland rolling as they take advantage of 10-man Stoke. Jermaine Defoe was lost to injury, but more importantly, Ryan Shawcross of Stoke was lost to a second yellow, a bit dodgy of a second yellow. Jack Butland, potentially England's number one in the future, Jack Butland, did all he could, but Patrick Van Aanholt took one on a set play and put it away for Sunderland on Duncan Watmore's goal a few minutes later. Sunderland 2, Stoke 0. Just when you think Stoke are getting on a roll, they hit this patch and lose on the road at Sunderland. But a tough call on Ryan Shawcross that saw him go out just after the start of the second half.
It was really one that could have gone either way. I know when I saw it, I kind of looked at it like, oh, seriously, y'all are calling that. Hey, y'all, knowing he's on a yellow, y'all are really calling that. Okay, whatever. Stoke have been really up and down this year. Mm-hmm. They show some weeks they look like they've got a chance to break into that upper echelon. Mm-hmm. And then the next week they come and they look like they could be a relegation fighter. Yeah. And it's a little disappointing if you're a Stoke fan, because they have invested in the squad.
Yes.
They've gone and gotten guys. They've gotten Bojan. They've got Xherdan Shaqiri. They've gotten guys from the continent who aren't your typical Stoke players, because they're changing the style at Stoke. And then for them to still kind of get this crappy result against a team that, that's one that you're feeling is Stoke. You know what? We should beat these guys. We're better than them. We should beat these guys.
Absolutely. That's very disappointing for Stoke to go in there and get that kind of result. Liverpool, Wes, did all they could to score, but maybe needed the help of the 12th man to get them over the edge. Neil Taylor of Swansea was adjudged to have committed a handball with his arm. According to the line judge, maybe